This is the Sourceseeker Hour. I'm your host, Baruti Carl Alexander. I am so privileged to host the show on this very timely subject. Bitcoins is the rage in some circles. It is the boogeyman in other circles. And we're going to discuss those issues. I have powerful guests that have a lot of knowledge about Bitcoins and the effect of Bitcoins on the economy. I'm going to let them introduce themselves on this 80th episode. This is our 80th episode of the Sourceseeker Hour. I'm privileged to still be here with you and still be doing the show, and we're going to go to greater heights. But without further ado, I want to get to our guests. Tell us about yourself, Brother Uzoma.
Thank you, Brother Baruti. I appreciate you having me on here today. Yeah, my name is Uzoma Ra. I founded a website called realbitcoinnews.com. And what I like to do is educate people about Bitcoin, how to get started in it, teach all the basic fundamentals, how to earn it, and just, help people get started. I have a business around Bitcoin that I talk to people about as well. So yeah, I'm just really excited to be here and share the information that I have. I love talking about Bitcoin. So I'm just glad to be here.
Yes, and we got a lot of knowledge that we want to give our audience about this area of Bitcoins. Is it valid? Is it not valid? Can you make millions of dollars? I just heard the football player invested, such a sum, and then he raised it so much just in Bitcoins. We're going to talk about that. Sister Cassandra, can you introduce yourself next?
Yes, my name is Cassandra Barnes, and I am a registered nurse as well as a psychotherapist. And so I actually just started looking into Bitcoin about maybe a little less than a year ago, maybe. And I have purchased quite a bit, and I've had quite a bit stolen from me. So I'm very, very excited to be a part of this conversation.
All right, we're going to talk about some of those events that happened. I heard you talking about them. We're going to get into that. It's very important for the people to know about the things that are possible to happen. And yeah. Brother Farad, bring it home with your introduction, brother, and get us set up for our show on Bitcoins.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, greetings, everyone. Man, I just want to say, man, it's amazing, phenomenal thing that what you're doing, and I'm just honored and pleasured and humbled to be a part of this and be invited to this, man. So I want to thank you first, Mr. Alexander, because these are the type of discussions that we should have more of, because we're talking about, closing the wealth gap, and we've been suffering for so long behind the 8 ball, but you are definitely doing your part in trying to put us up. So my name is Mahdi Supreme X. I'm the CEO and founder of the brand Fard Money Network, and we look for companies, our brands, our organizations, to partner with, and we have partnered with the world's first network marketing blockchain-based referral network marketing company, right? And we actually get paid in Bitcoin, in Ethereum, right? And we were talking more and get into that. So that's what we do in Fard Money. But the root of Fard Money is about educating the people about the science of business and the science of money and all the other stuff that comes with that. Yes,
peace and power. You mentioned something, Brother Supreme. You said blockchain. Now, see, some people don't know what you're talking about. I'm a novice at it, but I'm learning a little bit. Blockchain is what people are shooting for, or is that what is set up? Break that down, and that's going to be my first question across the board. What are we talking about when you said blockchain?
Oh, well, yes, sir. The blockchain, just real quick, because we want to get too technical, right? Because it is a lot of tech stuff that comes with knowing actually what that is. But blockchain is the network, and it's a group of computers where you got two forms of it. You have proof of work or you have proof of stake. Proof of work, there's a lot of computers that take a lot of energy out of the atmosphere, out of the universe to run that. Bitcoin is ran on a proof of work. Ethereum is ran on a proof of work, but you also have a proof of staking. And that's where people utilize, you know, core wallets or web wallets, and they stake coins there to uphold the network. But in short, the blockchain is a system of computers. It's the network which and it's ran by ledgers. You know what I'm saying? It's ran by ledgers from one block to another block. And cryptocurrency, all cryptocurrencies are on one form of blockchain. And then, you know, you have the wallets that help you move the crypto from one wallet to another wallet across the blockchain, right? So, but all coins are on the blockchain. So the blockchain is the network, and that's why everybody calls it, Robert Kiyosaki, he calls it the people's money, because the network runs it, so nothing could happen. You know, a blackout, that's about it. But other than that, nothing can stop it, nothing can slow it down. That's why it's called the people money. And that's why the bankers are so upset, and they're trying to find a best way to get in front of it or put regulations on it to benefit from it any other kind of way. So that's my short take on what blockchain is.
Brother Uzoma, same question, but throw in there, where does does it coincide with that term cryptocurrency or digital currency? I mean, it's so much technical stuff, as Brother Supreme said. How can we make sense of it? How can the layman that doesn't have all this understanding of these technical terms make sense of it?
Yeah, you know, when I first got started with it, you know, it was so complex and so many different terms that I got turned off by it. So right now I try to just teach people just the fundamentals, just how to get some, you know, and figure it out, all that other stuff later. I try to show them how to get some, you know. People use the term Bitcoin and blockchain interchangeably sometimes and say that Bitcoin is the blockchain. So, you know, as far as like explaining what it is, you know, it's kind of hard for me to break down these definitions, you know, but I can show you how to get some. So that's my whole thing, is how to get some Bitcoin and how to get started. But yeah, that blockchain and cryptocurrency, you know, some of them definitions, you have to really study that. You know, it's been a 2-year journey for me since I first heard about it, was turned off, and then I really got into it and started acquiring some. So yeah, I just try to show people how to get some, how to study, you know, how to, you know, understand the changes and all the things come down the pipeline, which I'm sure that we're gonna get into later. But yeah.
So if I understand it as a layman, Bitcoin means somebody got a computer together and they made a bunch of codes and they put some value on these codes, and then they put a physical coin variable out there to coincide with them codes. Then they made a bunch of codes and they added value to it. And then they made a whole system, and then other people start doing it, and they start building it up outside of the government. And then it became so popular that it caught attention. People said, oh, well, that's cool. And people started gravitating to it and said, yeah, I want to latch on to this. And now the government says, hey, you all are transmitting economy here. We're going to have to get into this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody?
Everything you said is on point. I think I heard you say physical. That's the only thing that I would say. Bitcoin is, only thing physical about Bitcoin is that picture you see.
Yes. I was trying to portray that. Maybe I didn't portray that correctly. But it's codes, and only the picture is tied with the codes. The picture of the coin is tied with the code.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Cassandra, are you sure you want to get involved with all of this kind of stuff that's going on? And tell us about your experience.
Okay, so what my understanding of the blockchain is a system that links all of the computers that actually trade digital currency or Bitcoin together, okay? And the blockchain is a system that's designed to prevent somebody's ability to hack or break into the system is called a blockchain. So you have several different computer systems that's buying and selling Bitcoin and managing Bitcoin. That network of systems is called the blockchain. And it's designed that way. It's like a ledger of all of the transactions related to Bitcoin are transparent and open to where people can view and see who's buying what, how much they spending, who's trading what or whatever. But the blockchain is designed to where the system can be easily hacked into, or they can't, it limits your ability to cheat the system. So it's a digital ledger that kind of brings all of the computers together that's buying and selling Bitcoin. My experience was I purchased quite a bit of Bitcoin, several $1,000s worth of Bitcoin from on different platforms, Cash App, Coinbase, as well as Bitcoin.com. And what happened with me was they have exchanges set up where you can send your Bitcoin to an exchange. It's just like my stock exchange, which is TD Ameritrade, but they deal with Bitcoin instead of stock and options. And so this broker seemed to be very upfront, very trustworthy or whatever. And when I looked at the site, the exchange site, it looked completely like a legitimate site. It had everything on it that looked like it was a legitimate site. And so it had all the copyright stuff, that it was licensed in the United States, and it had the Bitcoin exchange graph, a lot of information related to Bitcoin, all of that. And so I trusted it. I trusted the site. And so I sent about $4,000 worth of my Bitcoin to the site to invest, because the way that you get your profits is that everybody on the exchange, like Bitcoin now is like really profitable. So like say I bought one of my sites, I bought $150 worth of Bitcoin, and it's 2 weeks ago, and it's about $225 today. So it's about a $75 profit in just 2 weeks. So it went up after Elon Musk and a lot of people bought a huge stock of Bitcoin. So what happens, how you get your profit from these exchange sites is whatever the profit is for that day, you split it. You like splitting it with everybody on the site. And so my account went up to almost $30,000. It's $28,550 right now. And the way that I found out it was a fake, well, several things that let me know it was a fake site. But when I got ready to move Bitcoin off the site, it wouldn't let me move the money off. So I could send the Bitcoin to it, but I can't withdraw it. And so I've been going back and forth. It was, I can't get anybody through customer service, just a lot of things that we can discuss a little bit later. But they got me for several $1,000s. And I dealt with another broker. Thank God I didn't send him but $200 worth of Bitcoin. I don't know whether or not his site is legitimate or not, but I'm afraid to trust it. So I just lost that money as well. So
Yes, ma'am. So fraud, what do you say about that? Is there a lot of fraud out there? Is there a lot of people trying to take advantage out there in this industry, in this area?
Well, absolutely, it is. It most definitely is. But the problem that I can see in that case right there is the profit in Bitcoin is not that lucrative.
Yeah.
The coin is so high. So just that alone, you know, once you seen that jumped up and you ain't even put, you know, half of that, what you saying that should have made the antenna go off, because if you put $1,000 into Bitcoin, for that $1,000 to grow to 2,000, Bitcoin got to double in its price at the time you get it. You follow me? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I knew it was fake when that was happening.
Man,
I knew that.
But and then you don't need a broker to manage your crypto. You can manage your own crypto, and then if you got a broker doing it, that meaning you like on some type of trading platform. So in all actuality, that's definitely open for scammers, because you never have it. If you got somebody else with control of it, then they can do whatever they want to do with it. They can manipulate it, make it look like this, make you think that in there. But when you get inside of crypto, it's for you to take control of it. You don't let nobody know these keys, these codes to get into your wallet, because then they can rob you blind. But crypto, getting into a coin, and Bitcoin is like at 57,000 right now. You know, if you put in 10,000 for that to double to 20,000, Bitcoin got to go to 114,000. That's just the reality of it. So that's why you see the wealthy, super rich, acquiring that much. So it's big game for them, but the little people, you know, like us that just work the job, you can make some money, but it ain't gonna really make you rich if you get in a coin that's already that high. Because even if you bought one whole Bitcoin, for it to go to 2, the price got to double. And it might happen. It might happen, but you know, that's not a quick thing. It's not gonna happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna happen next week either. But yes, sir.
Uzoma, what do you say about fraud?
Yeah, it is a lot of fraud. I've been caught in a lot of stuff. A friend of mine lost 19,000 on something. So it's a lot of stuff. I'm real careful what I do these days. You know, Cassandra mentioned Bitcoin.com. The person that has that domain is not really a Bitcoin person. They run a coin called Bitcoin Cash. So when you go to Bitcoin.com, you will see Bitcoin Cash, and you might think you're buying Bitcoin, but you know, Bitcoin Cash is going to be first and foremost. You'll find Bitcoin, but Bitcoin.com is pushing Bitcoin Cash. So just that in itself is, you know, it's a bunch of fraud out there. You got to be real careful with what you do. You know, I know we're gonna talk about some other coins, but I like to focus on the king. You know, I like to stay with the king.
I understand that. I do want to mention about Bitcoin is not the only coin out there. Are there any other potential coins coming up that people should pay attention to? I know there are different people setting up different coin systems or cryptocurrency from their computers, and are any of them catching? What have you heard? And what about these platforms like Coinbase? And you were mentioning one, Uzoma. Let me get the name right. Tell me again. Uzoma. Okay, I got it right. Uzoma. All right. What about Coinbase? And what about where are the best places to buy Bitcoins at?
I don't like Coinbase. I mean, a lot of times, you know, people, when they first get started, they get into Cash App or Coinbase. My whole thing is I want to have the keys. You know, Coinbase control the keys when you over at Coinbase. So I like to have my own keys. So, you know.
So how do you do that?
I teach people how to get started with that. On my website, I have a few the best places that I like to buy coins from.
Go ahead and mention your website at this time.
realbitcoinnews.com.
Okay.
So on there, I show the best places where you can buy Bitcoin, the best wallets. I also talk about how you can earn Bitcoin. So this is not even buying Bitcoin, but ways you can earn Bitcoin. That's my favorite thing to talk about, because a lot of times people have financial issues, and they can't even, $50,000 is just way too much to even think about. I show them how to come in with no money out of pocket. So it's ways that you can earn Bitcoin. I believe in being able to earn Bitcoin is the best thing to do.
Absolutely.
There's so many different aspects to this. You talked about earning a Bitcoin, and I guess through your own computer, you can set up a system where you can earn a Bitcoin. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm not talking about mining. There are some mining platforms out there. I'm not talking about mining.
Back up a second and explain to us what mining is, please.
Mining is the way that the Bitcoins are created. Back in the day, when it first came out, people were pretty much mining Bitcoin on their laptops. It's just like you digging for gold. You mining for gold. So you using computer power to generate coins. And today, they have cloud mining where you can mine from your phone and things like that, just using the internet. But it is some good mining platforms out there. That's how I got started. And the ones I got started with, they were really good when they first got started. That's how I acquired most of my coins. But then they, like Cassandra said, they stopped paying out. They started, they switched up. So, but luckily I was able to, do okay before they switched up. But it is some good. I try to stay away and be real cautious about putting my money on these platforms.
So tell me this, Uzoma, what is the potential that you see in this cryptocurrency category? And I want to ask everybody that, but I want to start with you.
I think it's huge potential. I think if people did the knowledge and did the research on it and start to understand what it is, because it's probably going to take a while to understand. But once you understand it, and if you can start earning some, on a small basis, I think you'll be okay. I like to focus on Bitcoin because there's a lot of coins out there, and you can really get confused because it's just too many. I think if people focus on one thing, on Bitcoin, start getting some, I think, which I've seen for myself, a couple of years after I got started, I'm very happy with the results. So I try to show people the same thing. Just get started, start small, and do the knowledge, and start understanding what it is, and be careful.
Okay. Cassandra, what do you see as the potential, and what do you see as your particular potential as far as Bitcoins? How far do you want to go?
Okay, so with me, I'm handling it the same way I handle my stock account. I'm buying and holding now. How I got tricked is through mining, Bitcoin mining profit scam. Okay. And I had several when Mr. Supreme X was talking about the broker. The reason why I used a broker was not because of buying and selling. I was using the broker to connect me to what I thought was a legitimate Bitcoin mining profit platform. I had 2 or 3 other brokers that was trying to do the same thing, but I couldn't see their platform. Like they were managing their platform and I wouldn't have any control over it. This particular platform appeared to be completely legitimate. They had, whoever developed this fake platform, which somebody told me it was probably somebody out of Nigeria or somewhere, because they're very advanced with knowing how to do that. This platform looks completely legitimate. It's called instacoinfx.com. Now they have a legitimate instacoin.com vehicle, but this one is instacoinfx. It has everything on it like a legitimate site, but it's a fake site. And I didn't realize so what it is you send your money, your Bitcoin to the platform to generate a profit, a mining profit. And all of them, they tell you you can generate these thousands of dollars in profit, that you can actually take the profits off of it, right? And so, but what was a red flag to me was like immediately my account jumped up like really high, like $8,000 initially, then it went to maybe 16,000, then to maybe 17, 18,000. It just kept jumping up really, really high. And so they tell you that you can withdraw, your profits off whenever you want. But when I put in for the withdrawal, they tried to tell me that I had to pay an IRS fee, which was not correct. And so I said, well, what do you do with the IRS fee? Well, they couldn't do anything with it because they didn't have any of my tax ID number. That was the first thing that I knew, a first real sign that I knew, other than these extensive profits, that it was fraudulent. The other thing, and see, this is why I trusted it, because they charge you like the withdrawal fee was going to be $1,500. But when I did my research, there were several articles that stated when you withdraw is going to be a large withdrawal fee for for these, and it wasn't an article associated with that platform. It was just, I was reading different information. Everything that they said to me leading up to this, I found validation for in other articles. But when they said, well, you have to pay a $3,500 IRS fee, and I'm like, well, what are you gonna do with it? Well, the government requires it. I get that, but no, I'll file my own taxes. I just need a 1099. When they weren't willing to do that, I knew it was fraudulent because they didn't have any information of mine. No tax ID number or social to be able to report it to the IRS. And then I couldn't get anybody from customer service to return my calls. So if you look at the account now, the money is still looking like it's sitting on the account, but it's not. Is who the broker who connected me to the account is able to manipulate money, to make it look like it. So I told her, I said, send me screenshots of where you actually transferred the money to the account. She didn't send me that. She sent me another screenshot of something that I couldn't validate. And so I only had the broker to help walk me through mining the Bitcoin on the platform, but the whole thing was a fraud, and I lost that Bitcoin. I thank God I didn't transfer my Bitcoin from Coinbase or from Cash App. And when he made the statement about Bitcoin.com actually has both. Bitcoin Cash is just a newer version of Bitcoin, but it came out around 2018, 2016, 2017, 2018, somewhere like that. But a lot of platforms don't trade Bitcoin Cash. So it's not an illegitimate currency. It's just a newer form of Bitcoin. But both of them are actually just as available on Bitcoin.com. So like I purchased some Bitcoin Cash and some actual Bitcoin from Bitcoin.com, but I've transferred all of my coin off of Bitcoin.com because that's what I sent to the platform. So, but from now on, I do buy some Bitcoin every week. I don't care if it's just $25 or $50 worth. You don't have to buy. You can buy $3 worth of Bitcoin. It doesn't matter. I'm buying and holding because Bitcoin is going to be the currency of the future. Digital money is just going to be where. So to me, I'm looking at, 20 plus years to be able to trade it. So I'm just buying and holding. I'm gonna buy it and let it sit and ride and profit. The same way I do my stock. I don't sell my stock. I own stock now in 11 different companies, including my S&P 500 stock. I don't sell my stock. Whatever it does, it does. We go up and down, do whatever. I buy it and I hold.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Powerful. Before we have our introduction from our guests that have joined us, Brother Supreme, I want to give you a chance to talk about the future of Bitcoin. Where is it going?
Well, that's I don't know. That's a question that I'm not equipped to answer that. I don't know. But me personally, I don't think Bitcoin will reign king at the end of the day because of its slow use. It's the first blockchain. When you have a model, when you have the first model of a car or something, other people are, Ford is the first car, but a Rolls Royce is better, right? A Bentley is better, right? So when you have the first model of something, people are able to look at the defects of it, and they use the Bitcoin patent. They have to use that patent because it is the original. However, they have been able to make it faster. If you look at Ethereum already really right now has more utility than Bitcoin, and it's faster, super faster, right?
Hold up for a second. We got to slow down because people don't know what we're talking about.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
when you say they had to try to make one faster, you're talking about somebody else who made another cryptocurrency and they came off the original, but you're saying Bitcoin is still good, but the king of cryptocurrency, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So they've been able to, because like you said, it's over 10,000 cryptocurrencies in the world. It's just that everybody knows Bitcoin because it's the first one. So a lot of them, Bitcoin is slow. Bitcoin takes a lot of energy. So typically, then it will never be more than 21 million Bitcoins in total. Never. It'll never be more than 21 million Bitcoins in total. It's at about 18 million now of its circulating supply. But the total max supply will only be 21 million. So typically that's not enough to go around, especially at the price that it is right now. And then, like I said, a lot of people want to put a strain on it because of the energy that it takes to mine Bitcoin. Bitcoin has to be mined, right? And it burns up a lot of energy out of the solar system. So that's, but that's just my study on it, However, I'm a gold bull. I think gold is going to reign king at the end of the day because it is something valuable, solid. Now, the technology of the blockchain could be our new banking system, as far as being the new currency of the future when the dollar do fall and the cash goes obsolete. I think it's still going to be gold. I think it's still, we have to be looking at some type of way for somebody to have physical and digital gold to be able to go around the planet at the end of the day. Gold is still king when it comes to that. It's just Bitcoin time right now when you're talking about making a profit. You know what I'm saying? But that stuff is still, so that's just my take on it. So I think if any cryptocurrency would last, Bitcoin could, because it is the original, it's possible, but they got other better cryptocurrencies out there with more functionality, more utility, and are faster and more backing. Because in the real sense, nothing is backing Bitcoin outside of the blockchain.
So let me see if I can summarize. You're saying Bitcoin is going to be here possibly to stay, probably here to stay. However, it will not reign supreme because it's basically a computer code and you got other tangible things that are always remain prevalent like gold and even the dollar. So it will be there, but it won't be the main thing. It'll just be part of the economy like everything else. Is that?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But however, the dollar is the reserve currency right now. But the dollar doesn't give you anything for holding cash, right? That's why we really having this conversation. Because if you hold cash, you're not getting nothing. You're not getting 1%. You're not getting 2%. But you can put it in Bitcoin and get whatever percentage that goes up with that. So they are already trying to figure out how to. They're trying to keep the dollar afloat, but in a real sense, if we really understand what's really going on, the dollar is dead now. It's just that we still accept it as a means of payment. We still do work for it, run businesses for it, accept it. But when the other nations that America got all this debt that they owe, when they call the debt on America and they stop accepting the dollars, then we're not going to have food, clothes, or nothing, because all of that stuff comes from outside of America. So the greater thing about that is to get prepared. Can Bitcoin save you in all of this crisis? It probably can. But at the end of the day, I'm going to put my money on gold, because gold been here before all of that. So I'm going to put my money on gold to save me in the midst of that crisis, because it's going to happen. It's just a
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Powerful. This is the Sourceseeker Hour. This is episode number 80. I'm your host, Baruti Carl Alexander. We're talking about Bitcoins and other investments. Bitcoins are a powerful topic in this economy, in this social climate that we're in right now. Right now, I want to bring in one of my friends, Jeffery Hill. We go way back. He helped to put together this show for me many eons ago. This is our 80th show. So he's been here with me a little while. Brother Jeff, give yourself an introduction and go into the topic of Bitcoins. We've talked about the blockchain. We talked about mining. We talked about fraud. Go in, give us your spiel, your background, and give us the background of your company.
Okay, thank you. Can you guys hear me good?
Yes, sir.
All right, so it's rain. I'm in Medellin, Colombia right now, and it just started raining. So I don't know if you can hear me over the rain, but my name is Jeffery Hill. I'm the CEO and founder of Hill Financial Group, a wealth accumulation firm. I started my practice, oh good gosh, about 12 years ago. For the first 6.5 years, I was with a Fortune 100 company called New York Life. As many of you guys might be familiar with that name. And I learned a lot. I also learned that I didn't have to continue to stay within that platform to build wealth, because I wanted to teach people more than just insurance-based tools or just stocks, bonds, mutual funds. I wanted to be able to branch out and incorporate real estate, Bitcoin, so many other avenues that people are using today, because I believe that you should have a pretty diversified portfolio. You should start with a solid foundation, but after you got that foundation, now let's get creative with some of the things that can hedge against inflation, hedge against the dollar, hedge against real estate. And that's why we're having these type of conversations today. So I was an early adopter of crypto. Anytime, something this big comes out that has the power to challenge the way we do money, I want to know about it. In my profession, it's good for me to have an understanding of what's going on with our money. What are people using today? What are the wealthy people concerned with, and how are they protecting their wealth? Now, if you've been paying attention, there's a lot of corporate money starting to move into the crypto space. One of the CEOs that I'm in partnership with, they had 1,400 CEOs in a room, and they were doing, they were getting a deep dive on their understanding of Bitcoin. And they were told, you need to move 10% of your holdings, especially if it's cash, into Bitcoin. Right after that is when you heard Elon Musk doing what he did, right after this meeting. So that means it's only a matter of time before a lot of these other corporations start to follow suit. So Brother Supreme X said there's only...
You hit
how many more?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, how many more are going to be, be mined, so to speak? But that's why you have so many alternative coins. So it's good to have an understanding of what's out there, and don't necessarily think you have to go into Bitcoin, because it is expensive. I love what Mrs. Cassandra Barnes always says: invest a little bit. You want to get to the point where your dollar cost averaging. You want to be in the game. I helped my mother-in-law buy her first piece of Bitcoin last week, or a couple of days ago. She was excited. Do something. It is too available nowadays for people to not be in the game. At least Bitcoin. Now, when you get into some of the other coins, you need to have an exchange, okay? And find out if your exchange is reputable, because I've seen so many scams. And as you know, at any point in time when you got something this creative, this popular, scams are going to run rampant. People are still running scams on the dollar these days. So don't think that Bitcoin, even though the blockchain technology is safe, people won't try to run scams. They will, because people don't do their research enough, and they fall in love with the hype of something and they go into something blindly because it looks good, and that shiny object syndrome is real. So that's my intro.
Yes, sir. And we're going to go around with a lot more information. Uzoma, this football player, are you familiar with the football player and he invested this money, or his part of his contract, and now he's gotten it double? Have you heard other stories about that? Can you talk about that?
I've heard about, I believe he plays for the Carolina Panther, Russell Okung, I believe is his name. And yeah, like Jeffrey was just saying, you know, a lot of the big investors, you know, a lot of the hedge funds and the institutional money, they not buying Cardano and Litecoin. They buying Bitcoin. You know, they buying the big dog. So I would advise, you know, people, you know, because you can get out there and you can start trading and trying to get in and out. Like Cassandra said, I would advise people to buy and hold. You know, if you want to get off into trading and all that, that's good. Start buying and hold and start getting you some Bitcoin. You know, that's where the big money is going into. They're not going into these altcoins like that. They're going into Bitcoin. So you want to get in there before they get in there. So I show people how to get Bitcoin, you know.
So tell me this, the government is looking at Bitcoins, this whole cryptocurrency. You know they're gonna want that piece of the pie and they're looking at it now. So what do you believe is gonna happen?
Yeah, well, of course, the government gonna want their piece. They're gonna regulate it and get their piece. I think it may have a short-term effect on the price, you know, but like I said, I think it's here to stay. I don't think it's gonna kill it, but that's the good thing about buying a little bit on a consistent basis, because you know when they regulate it, the price come down. Just like this time last year, the price was about 4,000 because you know everything jumped off with the pandemic and it just went down. But so from 4,000 to 50,000 in a year, that's a good return. That's a good return. So that's why I say stay with the king.
I hear you. Brother Jeff, same question. What is, if you're there, Brother Jeff, same question. What is going to happen when the government comes in and say, okay, we want our piece of the pie. All that are in here already, we want our piece of taxes from you. And then all of those coming in, we want our cut of that. How is that going to look? What's going to happen?
Good question. Man, as somebody who's done a little lobbying for the insurance and financial services industry, I would say 9 times out of 10, it's probably going to be slow moving to get there, because there, in my heart of hearts, I believe there will be a lobbying group that is fighting and advocating to keep Bitcoin off of the government's payroll, so to speak, because that's all it is. Especially when you think about it being international, I think it can cause. Think about, let me dial it back. Think about how many companies have moved their companies out of the U.S. because of taxes and how much that hurts us. And there's a reason why President Trump wanted to cut off those corporate loopholes to bring more dollars in, but they didn't, right? They did a little bit, but not enough. So when you think about China being a superpower, I think that's still going to force more people to have more offshore things, right? And that's what we're in now. Is just how do we insulate ourselves from the tax game? Well, that's why I believe in multiple sources of income, small home-based businesses, something that you can do that can help you curtail what's going to happen with the taxes. But most people, they only think in terms of W-2s, right? And they've never thought about, well, let me start a home-based business and figure out how these tax deductions work. Because if my Bitcoin continues to rise, right, at some point in time, I'm going to want to cash out. Well, have you learned enough about real estate to say, let me cash out and let me take a big portion of what should be tax liability and use it for an investment that's 100% tax deductible? And all of a sudden you're hedging against what the IRS wants to do anyway. So that's where a big difference comes in. You just got to understand that there are strategies out there that can help you maneuver through the tax game. So don't think that it's just all doom and gloom because you want to go into Bitcoin. Let taxes sometimes be the last reason that you want to do it, because you can figure something out. To our last conversation that we had, the last show, was if you're holding it, just like if you were holding money inside of your IRA, what's the tax consequences when you're holding it, right? None. So we'll figure something out, or at least have it in there until you get your financial IQ up to know what you can do.
I understand. I'm sure there are minds sitting at the table figuring out how this is all going to work, and maybe they're coordinated. The big timers in the Bitcoin industry and the Treasury Department might be sitting at a table right now. Who knows? What do you think, Brother Farad?
Man, kind of with Mr. Hill, he pretty much hit it on the head, right? When we, having a financial IQ about anything, or having financial literacy or financial education when you're doing any of this type of stuff, he is exactly right. There's nothing for them to tax if you holding any crypto coin, any asset, right? There's nothing for you to tax. And then, like you say, you can figure it out because you might could, man, if you probably could find a way just to spend the Bitcoin and never go back into cash, then it ain't nothing to tax either. See, the way they system works is when you utilize the dollar, that's when you step on their turf. But anything outside of the dollar, you're not on their turf. So if you got Bitcoin and it shoot up, if you can find a way to just spend the Bitcoin, a portion of it or whatever, and don't never go back into cash, then there's nothing for you to tax. You bought something with it. When you get crypto on Cash App, they ask you why you want to get it, what you want to do with it. You know what I'm saying? What are your job? What kind of job you have? You self-employed? Are you employed? Why you doing it? So they ask you that because that's a centralized platform to get crypto, Coinbase, centralized platform to get crypto. So they report everything to the government and the IRS because it's a centralized platform. But they have decentralized platforms that don't report a lot of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But like Mr. Hill said, I pretty much don't have to go no further than that. A home-based business, if you worried about taxes, it would be the smartest, wisest thing for you to do, whatever type of home-based business it is, because that puts you in what the bracket is, the I bracket. That puts you on that other side of the tax bracket, as Robert Kiyosaki talks about the cash flow quadrant. That puts you on that right side as an investor or a big business owner when you have a home-based business. And it don't matter how much money you made, nothing, because everything in your house, your phone, your mileage, your eating out, everything becomes tax deductible. And whatever you get to market your business as well, all of that's tax deductible. So you wouldn't be affected by it if you understand that game. So Mr. Hill pretty much hit a home run with that. Was nothing really to say behind that one, but that's pretty much how it is. Whatever you hold, that's an asset. There's nothing for them to tax. Because if you go from Bitcoin back into cash and you took a profit, then that's capital gain. So now you back on their turf.
So either way, but of course, that they want to get their cut on the inside and on the outside as you're going out. They want to tax it right there as you are making the transaction from your platform and buying the Bitcoin. And they want to get a little tax there. Then if you cash out, got a capital gains, they want to get a little tax there. So I'm certain they are looking at all the different ways to work this out. That's what they sitting at the table trying to figure out right now. This is a very interesting subject. Personally, I am investing in Bitcoins. Now, I haven't invested as much as my sister Cassandra, but I do what I can. And so I'm investing a little bit, but I say when I invested $100, I got $55 profit in about 2 weeks. So that was pretty good. So I haven't checked, but maybe I'm at 300 or so now. So we'll see, and we'll see how it keeps going, and we'll keep reporting back. This is Baruti Carl Alexander. This is the Sourceseeker Hour. This is episode number 80. We are talking about Bitcoins and other investments. There are other coins out there, but everybody agrees, or pretty much, or correct me if I'm wrong, that Bitcoin is the king. Bitcoin is the one we should concentrate on in the cryptocurrency. And we're going to come to the end of our show, and we're going to give everybody an extensive time to share. There are those of you that have platforms. You have different ways of helping people with Bitcoins, and we want you to tell everybody everything that they can need to hear about that. So if they want to come to you, Brother Supreme, if they want to come to you, Uzoma, if they want to come to you, Jeff, please share with them how they can contact you and so forth. We have someone coming in at this time. Let me take care of this. We're talking about Bitcoins. Again, I'm Baruti Carl Alexander. Brother Uzoma, can you share with everybody? Can you share with everybody how they can reach you, how they can talk to you, what they can do to find out about Bitcoins and talking with you? If you'll go ahead, I'll deal with the other thing.
Okay.
Uzoma.
Great. Yeah. So I love talking to people about Bitcoin. I have a private coaching where I help people one-on-one get started, get set up. I got a lot of free information on my website at realbitcoinnews.com, where you can go and kind of, get a five-star quick get started guide, so you can, get your wallet and find out, the different ways to get started. The best way to earn Bitcoin, like I talked about earlier, and some of the ways, where you can buy Bitcoin on a regular basis. So yeah, realbitcoinnews.com. I have all my social sites. You can connect with me on social media. Everything is on my website.
All right. One more time for the name of the site.
realbitcoinnews.com.
realbitcoinnews.com. All right. Cassandra, you want to share?
Yes, I'll just say it is complex. Someone mentioned Robert Kiyosaki, both Supremix as well as Mr. Hill, and he actually is doing both Bitcoin and Ethereum as well as gold. I actually own stock in gold. I'm not buying gold bars, but I own stock in gold. My gold stock is actually decreasing. So I'm not sure what's going on with gold, but I do own gold stock. So you may want to look at that. You don't have to actually have gold bars. The other thing is I own stock in a company called Silvergate that does something related to cryptocurrency. I purchased that stock at $12 and something cents per share just maybe 2 or 3, 4 months ago. Is currently about $140 per share. So whatever they're doing, their profits are really going up. So I'm mad because I didn't buy more shares at $12. But at any rate, I did do my homework and studied and all that, and still got thousands of dollars stolen from me. It's just a game you have to use. Like they say, if you can't afford to lose it, don't invest it. I took a hit that I took the hit, but I could afford to take the hit, if that makes sense. Don't put money that you can't afford to lose. The other thing, when I'm looking at buying stock or Bitcoin, I trade off. I mean, if I'm going to Papa Do's to get a meal, then I say, okay, I would have spent $40 at Papa Do's. I think I'm gonna buy some Bitcoin instead and eat a salad at home. That's what we're gonna have to start doing. We're gonna have to start being smart. Everybody is not gonna own a business and all of that. I own mine and a lot of people on theirs, but we have to look at ways to make money, to generate funds. That's our jobs will never make us wealthy. That's just not going to happen. So we have to look at ways to generate monies, whether we own businesses or not, and being smart. So I don't have to understand stuff to do it. I jump in the game and let it do what it do. I'll do a little bit and figure it out along the way, but don't risk what you can't afford to lose. That's the main thing. And risk a little bit and learn, it's too complex for you to learn it before you do it. just do a little bit and learn it along the way. That's what I say about that.
And I say also, utilize the resources. We have resources right here. Everybody here is a resource, and we can contact the resources and network and learn about it as we go. And trust is very important. And we're building trust within the community. This is the Sourceseeker Hour. And one of the things that we want to always do is bring you pertinent information, bring you trustful information from sources and people that we know. Brother Jeff, go into it, talk to them about it. Hill Financial Group, tell them about it, and how can they reach you? What information can they get?
All right, so I do a lot of my crypto education and I guess recommendations, if you will, outside of Hill Financial Group. That's a completely separate set of entities. But for me, one of my focus is on automation of what I do when it comes to cryptocurrency. So I have several automated strategies. Some of them trade my Bitcoin, some of them trade my Ethereum, some of them trade my Tron. I will say Tron is 20 times faster than Ethereum on the blockchain, and it's way less expensive, right? But I do Forex trading from an automated standpoint. And my whole thing was, if you go back to the cash flow quadrant and you understand how it works, and I'll put this as my background so you guys can see what I mean. Okay, Brother Supreme X talking about getting in the I category. So if you've never understood what this means, you're getting in the I category. And what that means, you are now becoming an investor, meaning your money is making money. Most people are here, but they've never really understood how to get over here. Now, to Mrs. Cassandra's point, not everybody's going to be a big business owner, but network marketing, you can start a t-shirt business, something that allows you to tap into some tax deductions so you can get more of your money back instead of just blindly giving it away. So for me, I make money in all categories. I spend very little time here, okay? Very little time, because my time is important. Now, as I've earned more, I'm starting to put more here. I bought some stocks that pay dividends because wealthy people buy dividend paying stocks, right? I want passive income that covers my lifestyle and expenses. So that's what I teach, okay? As a life coach, as a financial coach, I teach that. But first I got to get your mind right, because we have such a broken
And let me ask a
paradigm.
question. Let me cut in, make sure our audience understand. We see the diagram. Employee is one, I think, if I'm doing the numbers right.
Okay,
Business owner is two.
I'll help you out with that. Here you go.
Yeah.
This way. Most people start out with a job, and then they become self-employed. Then all of a sudden they learn how to use systems, saving yourself time, energy, and money to leverage their time. This is where leverage happens. You are leveraging either AI, people, or some type of technology that can generate income, and you don't always have to be there. Right. And then you learn how to get your money in autopilot as well. Because once you tap in here, the world is yours when you really understand how to make money in the I category. Okay. And there's so many ways to do it. You talk to Tim Sykes, he's going to tell you you need to be in penny stocks. Okay. You talk to Robert Kiyosaki, he's going to tell you real estate. You talk to me, I'm going to tell you a combination of things, just depending on diversification. So there are systems out there that helps you guys transition. Don't think you just got to jump way over here. Maybe you're not ready for big business yet. Okay. Maybe you need to do a hybrid. It just depends on your financial IQ and your hustle, right? But that's why you want to have a mentor and a coach, because we're walking this. We only got to be one step ahead of you to lead you. Okay. So I teach people how to put some stuff on automation so they can see how some money is being generated without their help. But I also encourage them to learn how to do this stuff on their own so they can go manipulate and buy more. And when I say manipulate, I'm not using it in a nefarious context. I'm saying you learn how to get your money to work better for you. Like if you learn options trading, or if you learn some other kind of technical trading with Forex or something like that. That's what I mean by getting that manipulation there. So I let my automation do stuff for me, and while I'm learning how to do more of it myself. So the way you can find me is on Facebook. Go in the Hill Financial Group Inc. Type that in. You can connect with me also on Instagram. HFG Inc. is the business page. I'll probably push more content to my personal page because I do life coaching, and that's what more people kind of are. So that's Jeff Hill Speaks. But anytime you guys got questions, link up. I'll show you any of the platforms that I'm using and tell you why. If you like them, then I'll help you get started.
Sounds powerful, brother. You gave us a diagram here that we probably didn't know we were trying to follow it, some of us, but it's a diagram that shows a definite strategy and a definite way to go. And that's something that we can take with us. Uzoma, what do you say about what Brother Jeff said in that strategy? Before I wanted to give you another opportunity to discuss it and to share with the audience anything else you wanted to share. Then we're going to finish with Farad. Yes, sir, brother.
Yeah, I love it. I love the cash flow quadrant and how to move from that employee to self-employed over to that business and investor. That's where you want to be at. Like we said earlier, you want to have some kind of business, you know, even if it's a home-based business, network market, whatever it is, you definitely want to have that, the tax benefits, if nothing else. So yeah, I'm with that. Yeah.
Yes, sir. A lot of good information, powerful information. We're going to continue always with a money strategy, a finance strategy show. It's so important in our community. We've talked about it many times within our community. We do need to know how to better make money, better save our money, better invest our money, and make our money work for us. Supreme, powerful show. As always, I appreciate you. And take us out and tell us how we can reach you and give us the final word on the future and the reality of Bitcoin.
Oh, yes, sir, man. Like I said at the beginning, man, it's an honor and a pleasure to be on your platform, brother. So thank you, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep putting these type of meetings together, because these are definitely positive breakdowns of conversations that we need more of, right? You can go follow me on Instagram, Forward Money Network. We're on Facebook, Forward Money Network, Twitter, Forward Money, and we also have our main page as our YouTube channel, Forward Money, where we have all of the information on what we do and what we have to say about crypto and where the future money is going. Matter of fact, we do a show every Saturday night at 10 Eastern Standard Time on our YouTube and Facebook channel live, where we go, and it's called the Future Money Show, where we talk about this intensively. So, but like I said, it's the pick your poison, man. Whatever you feel like you need to be. I'm like with my brother over here, man. I don't invest in Bitcoin. I don't invest in Ethereum, right? I invest in baby coins that'll give me the greater reward versus the risk. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I invest in. I hold those, and Bitcoin is my base, and Ethereum is my base income, because I'm in a system where the network actually pays us daily instant commissions in Bitcoin and Ethereum. And we've been doing that since December the 1st. And that's what we have right now. And we also have a way to spin it with our GS Lifestyle crypto debit card, right? So that's what we have, and that's what we do, man. So I want to thank you, brother. So enjoy this, man. I thank everybody's input. It was power packed, and I appreciate it being even asked to even come here. It's an honor and a pleasure, brother.
Thank you, brother. Thank you as always. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want more information, you can always put a question in the comments of the show when you see it online. Put your question in there, and the brothers and the sister will get back to you. You can contact me. I'll contact them for you if you want me to, or if that's appropriate, I'll contact them and have them contact you back. This is an important discussion, Bitcoins. We can be at the beginning of it or sort of at the beginning of it. It's still making quite a bit of money, but as with anything, you got to be cautious. You have to take your time, have a strategy, and do your research. This is the Sourceseeker Hour. I'm your host, Rudy Carl Alexander. This has been our 80th show on Bitcoins and other investments. Keep tuned. We're going to keep telling you good information. We're going to keep telling you what happens. Next week, homelessness in the age of COVID. The week after that, building spiritual relationships here on the Sourceseeker Hour. I'm your host, Rudy Carl Alexander. We'll see you next week and every week. Thank you. Take care, everybody. Take care.